I'm gonna go through some stuff about communication in pugs that might sound obvious to some, but are still good to go through, and especially if you feel like you don't know what to say, when to say it, what's important to say, what is just clogging the comms, then maybe it helps to just like at least have someone talk through it, and then you can use that to reflect on your own communication. So first of all, the very basic form of communication is just communicating what you see. Right, just like if you're going through here and someone takes a shot at you, just calling like off mid, or if you're spotting this and you see two people jump over, you can call 2 cross. Just making sure that at the basic level what you see is transferred to your team as information for them to play off of, and as for the team to make decisions based off of, and as well as calling what you don't see can be important as well. If you're spotting this and you see no one jump over, then obviously that's a huge piece of information that you gain just by not seeing something, and then your team can just go B. As well as some other stuff like calling that people saw you jump down and taking this angle, but calling that you're not actually, like, I didn't see if they went lower B, giving your tunnel guy the knowledge that actually if there's a guy here, they weren't spotted. So that ties into knowing versus speculation, where like in that situation, knowing that they jumped over or didn't, if you kept your eye on it, that's knowing, and could have gone lower is speculation, obviously. But in a more realistic sense, you see this flash coming out, and flash B is knowing that something happened, and going B, 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 or they're coming B is speculation, if not pure fantasy, and has lost many around when your teammates believe you and start rotating and get caught out by the other 4 terrorists somewhere else. But in a more realistic sense of maybe your team doesn't yell at you for it, but like seeing this smoke here doesn't yell at you, but it's still important to know the differences. Maybe you see this smoke land, and well, that didn't land properly. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna throw it again for my own sake. Maybe that smoke lands there, and these call out mid to be smoke, which just tells your teammates that they threw this exact smoke, or are you calling they're going mid to be, and that simple like jump from just visual and sound to actually like calling what they're doing based on it, without having potentially any actual like other stuff to back it up, has its place sometimes. I'm gonna go into that later, but just like being calm and calling at what you see, what you hear, what information you actually have is like the very basic. If you just do that, then that's always almost gonna be useful. And then going into other stuff here, asking for stuff is good. You're not looking to take heads up fights. Usually, you don't want fair fights. You don't want like you don't want to just take this, and maybe you don't have a flash. You have a guy here, and it's fine. Just like, hey, Steve, can you flash my mid? and then you just go right off of that, just like asking for small stuff. Hey, can someone flash over a long? Can I get a fast cat? Can someone small flash throw long flashes at the start of the round? Or just, you know, hey, and beyond even like no little micro plays, even if you have an idea, you can make a suggestion based on what you think, and you should not be afraid to. If they keep exploiting and punishing something in your team's game, then asking if you can change your setup around that, or make a play around that, try and catch them out. So like if you're just doing a normal default and they're just constantly doing mid to B splits, which are, if they're properly executed, quite hard to stop actually. Then maybe you ask if you can double up mid or whatever, and that's more than fine. And then like the suggestion slash asking, like making that difference of asking or like forcefully but politely telling people to do something. Like if you know you have a timing here, you know the guy just posted up on this angle there, like instead of hey, can you flash mid, just going like, hey, flash my mid, like just putting it out there that this is what you're doing now. Or alternatively, if your team's lost, doesn't know what they're doing, just like, and going, okay, instead of going should we go B, you can just like, I'm smoking mid to B, and then we're gonna, geez, something's wrong with my smokes. And you can just go, hey, I'm smoking mid to B, and flashing mid, and then we're going B. And that kind of like calling instead of asking, or rather knowing when to ask and when to tell your teammates that this is what we're doing. If you have an idea out of spawn and that doesn't free you from communication at all, like as it's happening, like if you're just in its simplest form, let's say if you're hey, I'm gonna smoke Xbox, let's go cat. And then you're coming here, then there's still stuff that needs to be commed. Do they have an alt mid? Did someone see anyone go lower, or maybe someone's like lurking long? Then they need to calm that instead of just like people getting angry at them. And as you get here, still coming, like your friends are going to this op angle here, and instead of just like, okay, well, we called we're going cast, so just fine, but instead of, you can call it, wait, stop, I'll flash the corner, and then you can take the corner. Or if they're same thing here, if you have smoke, still just like, stop, I'll flash, smoke and flash are cross, and just like stuff like that you're still coming what you're doing, you're still coming what you want to do, instead of like, oh well, we said what we want to do in spawn, and now we're just reading each other's minds, and if it goes to shit, then it's whoever's fault we happen to spectate last in the round, or whoever made the most visible mistake. So if you're not coming together, then losing the game is a team mistake. It doesn't really matter who fucks up what. It doesn't really matter like what anything else that happens. Not coming as a team is already losing the game, because you're not creating the opportunity to win the game. Next, I want to talk about like if basically giving your teammates basic if then chains. A simple example would be something like your B player telling them to just stay alive, play for info, and I will if they rush B, I'll flash over plat for you, and then they have a basic idea of okay, I'm here, and if something happens, then I know what I'm gonna do next, and in a way that lets us play together. And, okay, I'm flashing, and then you can fight together. Just or say you're on a force or eco CT and you want to take long or you want to push through long, then you could call something like if they flash a bunch over and rushing, let's fall back and I'll flash for you when they get closer, and just like making those kinds of very simple pre-adjustments to things that are likely to happen creates, if not seamless, then more seamless teamwork opportunities for you and your teammates, as well as just giving people comfort that they know what's going to happen in terms of like, because it's a confidence game. Say someone calls B rush and then instead of like, oh well, surprise they mollied it, and then we don't have shit to do because we don't have armor and we don't have a smoke or anything, and then maybe you call, okay, if they do that, we're gonna go lower as a team and try and flash over and get the off kill and fall back with the off and go for picks later. Just like having those kinds of like paths to go forward is helpful. Then calling what you're doing is the next level of like super basic communication after what you see or what you don't see or what you hear. Here, I'm gonna go through like that first. If you hear if you hear one set of footsteps, you can call that I hear someone in B tunnels. You don't need I hear them in B tunnels. Just like that. That's actually a distinction that matters. Or if you hear like 3 steps of footsteps, that's not all B. If you hear bomb drops, if you hear flashbangs, if you hear them take map control but you don't see, just like stuff like that. But yeah, in terms of what you're doing, if you're anchoring B and you're like narrating that okay, I'm smoking, then I'm going to play a big box instead. If you don't have anything plans around that, then that's just bullshit info, because no one actually gives a shit about how you play your site unless there's been like huge problems and you're trying to solve the fact that you're always dying fast and giving up the site. But like say they're taking mid, your mid guy's dead, and what you're doing here, it can impact like the way that the rest of your team is gonna play out the round. Like if you they're taking mid to B, I'm gonna push tunnels. That's a horrible flash, I don't care. But like trying to split the, not getting stuck into a crossfire. And then if you find a kill here, and then your teammates are instantly ready, because they know once the smoke fades, we have a guy in tunnels. And we have a guy in tunnels, and we can try, and if it seems like we can try like a retake B split kind of thing here, or then they know that he pushed into tunnels. They might, if they're not super out mid yet, they might want to try and turn cat, or as well as like, oh, they're coming. I'm gonna challenge mid. Those flashes, but like, and then you come out here. You come out here, and there's nothing here. You're like, well, they're not here, so now your teammates know that it's not a B-split after all, even if they faked it. So you telling them what you're doing is priming them for the fact that you're going to be feeding them potentially useful information. And then, like, other examples, like if you're saying that you're flashing this, or throwing flashes along a CT, then that gives your friend the information that he can cross to pit, ideally. I remember this at all. Let's saying you're smoking the long corner here is gonna affect the way that your friends are gonna come swinging out along here, because they can do something like this, and they don't have to worry about that corner anymore. Just like the information that affects your teammates in, or what you're doing is fuck, that's a horrible sentence. When your actions impact the people on your team and what they can do or cannot do or should be aware of, or whatever, just like making that difference. Or like and in terms of like junk information, again, it's like I don't know, I guess that's enough. You get the point. Calling gaps in terms of information is important. They throw this Xbox smoke. It's good to call that it's smoked, but it's better in a pug where you don't actually know the people you're playing with that well, or maybe you can't trust them to. It's lowish level enough where you can't trust them to actually, like, even if they in a vacuum they realize what that means, then they won't maybe make that connection in the actual match, where then they play like car here or whatever, and I go like this, get shot in the back, and they're like, what the fuck, I don't know, they could be a cat, and you're stuck here explaining that you called Xbox was smoked. So just like going Xbox is smoked, they can be cat, they can go cat, can't see him. The goggles do nothing. And even like, even if it's not a smoke, like something I don't see people maybe do is say you get forced off an angle here somehow. Fuck, I can't remember any of these nades anymore. Should be from here somewhere. Yeah. If you get forced from this angle, like, then that opens up like stuff that they can do as well. Like if you were there listening, waiting for this mid guy, then now maybe he forced you off to go here, like maybe, or rather maybe you're here spotting this, and then you get forced off by a flash, and then you can call that little gap as well, even if it doesn't seem likely, just to give your friends that information that they could be somewhere. Or say you are in a post-plant situation on A, and your friend is watching cat on site, it's planted for you long, you're offing this, then it could be good to tell them that, like, you're peeking long on a timing in addition to watching this cross. just so they don't play an angle where like you're spotting long just now when this guy gets here, and maybe they're not playing that angle, and then they swing around because they saw you and get 2v1. Just to give awareness of what the potential timings are in a play like that. Then that ties into calling what you're watching in many situations. Post plants are obvious. I'm watching long. I'm watching CT, whatever. But that just making sure that you're not watching like you're watching. Say that's smoked up for now. You're watching this headshot angle here, and your friend is here somehow sitting like this, and neither of you call anything. Then this fucker's just gonna like walk through, not be spotted at all. He'll just like and even like you can going back to asking or saying what the other should do in a reasonable way. Just like I'm watching window at a better angle on window. Just watch door, and that frees this guy up to find a better position here. And that also in a situation like that, say it's a 2v1, then that kind of like activation thing goes back into comes back into play. Those if then kind of like peek on me, like this is smoked off, and you know he's there. He doesn't have time to do anything but come through door. Then you can just like, okay, I'm gonna take first contact. Just peek when I shoot or peek on contact. Then that happens, and then just like those kinds of little comms that makes like the basic idea of comm is to make sure everyone has the information they need and that you're on the same page of what you're doing. So those kinds of little like confirmations that we both know what we're doing here are big. If you both have a reasonable but differing plan that you're trying to execute, then that's gonna cause a lot of arguments and fights and just like a bad vibe when the other guy's like, oh, I thought I was gonna peek on you, I thought we were peeking it together, what the hell. Just thought, you know. A special mention for AWPing, especially in CS2 with the lowered max rounds, is that it's relatively a bigger investment now. So you should even before you should have been doing it, even especially now, falling for those setups like that you calling for those little things that you can like boost me behind the smoke for. I didn't even get the CT guy. You know, just actually it's as a side note, if you ever want to boost through above this smoke, just like look for this tire. If I remember correctly, you can just, that should usually get you like, yeah, it bugs out because they're like that. But anyway, calling people to set you up isn't egoistic or annoying when you have the op. The op is a team asset and you should be using it as such. As an AWPer, you might and sometimes should find yourself moving around a lot looking for picks, going off spawns in terms of like entry timings, and you should definitely ask your teammates to play around and call around yourself. Yeah, I got a good long spawn. Can you take my mid or whatever and just try and get this fast long pick? Maybe if you get that, then you fall back to a more supportive role here and try and find a just like moving around a lot and combing that with your team and making sure they can play around it. Spending 5k of your team's money on an op is already a confident play, and you should follow it up by being confident in your comms and what you want your team to do. So yeah, that's not smash. And I guess that's most of what I wanted to cover actually. Just like a few extra tips for comms. This one I got in said in my flashbang video, but just like I still don't see anyone doing it. But just like I'm flashing, go on my top, and then people can go on your comm instead of trying to listen for a single flashbang in all of that, and then maybe the enemy flashes and they think that's your flash and hit your flash instead. And then just like underappreciated is it's a game. If you just get into the habit of blaming each other and whining and fucking like it's fine to let out some steam or whatever if you can, but like going into actual like personal slights and shit is never gonna make people play better. Creative and confident plays don't happen in an environment where people are afraid to make mistakes. So you should aim at trying to see what your teammates were trying to do and appreciating that if possible, because then that gives them the confidence to like actually play. No one plays well if they're just attempting to not get yelled at. They just play timid, they aren't proactive, they aren't asking for what they need, they aren't, I mean, most importantly, they're not having fun, right? And you're, for the 30 minutes you're getting your teeth kicked in your team, and you should aim to have fun together. And sometimes it can be fun to laugh at the fact that you're getting your teeth kicked in, and sometimes it's fun to play a tight match and overcome something, but like, just like, and this is something that I know I should practice as well as I preach, but the fact that it's a team game and people act like they're not a team is sometimes very annoying to me personally. And when you're a team, you can demand from your teammates that certain things, and you can expect certain things, and you can get heated and whatever, but then like you should also remember to take deep breaths, and like if something fucked happens, then a few rounds later just like maybe shoot at them a DM saying hey, sorry I got heated or whatever. That's gonna go a long way. And yeah, that's most of it, I guess.